Stugotz, I have a couple of things for the take machine. I have a couple of hot takes here in sports.
Yes. I like a take machine.
I don't do this very often, but I'm going to send some takes into the universe now. Are you excited? Because
oh my God.
I want to build this up a little bit because I don't often do this. I've tried to be sort of takeless in a take full time. I'm not aggressively takey, but I think I have some thoughts here that will sort of be sports echoing. One, no player in the history of South Florida or the Miami Heat franchise has done more in the way of improving as an athlete from what we saw at the beginning to what he has become than Duncan Robinson, who has changed the sport, the way the sport works, where they're spacing and threes.
Duncan Robinson changing the sport is a take.
The three has changed the sport. This is how
improving.
This is how I'm finishing the take. I'm rusty because I don't have practice at this, but no player ever has gotten to 1,000 threes faster than Duncan Robinson. And that is emblematic of everywhere the sport has gone recently, Stugotz, where now you have an officiating problem. You're trying to keep scores down. Adam Silver's drowning under not as popular as he used to be. What's wrong with your league? Everyone else in sports is thriving. Why are you not thriving? Why have you gone from most popular commissioner, guy who replaced Stern effortlessly, most progressive league, to, you don't know how exactly to have your media trained to birth the future stars that we need to be obsessing about because Steph and LeBron's time is done. That's the end of what that brought the league. It did for the league in some ways what Bird and Magic did for the league. Keep it with stars. Stars are important. But if you're not selling tomorrow's stars because we're still talking about the Suns like they've got a chance.
If you're not selling Duncan Robinson,
Duncan Robinson, faster to 1,000 threes than anybody.
Well, what are you saying there?
Duncan Robinson has improved more than any Heat player ever, right in front of your eyes.
Really?
Yes.
So no one – that's a great take. Because I've never really,
you're not going to be able to dispute it.
Well, I've never measured improvement.
I'm watching it, though. What if you're talking – look, man, Stugotz, if you're following basketball at all, Boston's totally overwhelming. They're beating everybody by double digits. In the history of the league, Stugotz, 5 times have all 5 players had 3 or more threes in the history of the league.
Yeah.
Boston's done it twice in 2024. They're dragging everybody by double digits. They're a lot better than everybody.
And here's to you, Duncan Robinson. We all love how much your game has grown. Whoa. You're hitting threes, Duncan Robinson, cutting and dishing to our big O. That's Orlando in Toronto.
So this is my other take. This is how much basketball has changed. That if it were 1984, Zach Edey would be taken ahead of Michael Jordan in the draft. Just a big slab of skin, a big block of meat.
Slab.
You've gone too far.
No, I have not gone too far. That's the take. In 1984, basketball would have drafted Zach Edey before Michael Jordan.
Great take. Absolutely phenomenal take. Dan, maybe your best work.
Thank you, Lucy.
I'm trying to build out this hot take machine that you were talking about, and the way that I envision it now, and I don't know that we're going to be able to do this, Dan, so I don't want to get your hopes up. I imagine it being remember how David Letterman used to throw things off the roof of the building into an alley? So I was thinking that we can launch things off of this building, but we shouldn't do that because it's also copying him. So I'm thinking maybe we find good things for the ocean, like fish food or something, and we just shoot it out of a cannon into the ocean. So then we have someone over there across the street at the bay, and then you give the hot take, whatever it is, and then that person calibrates it on what they think that take is. And if it's a great take, that thing's going 1,000 feet. If it's bad, it goes 3 feet.
I think it should be one a day, that I have to come in and have one a day, a take like that one, where you're demanding that I get sharper in the changing industry and sharpen up my take game that's very rusty.
The Blazers took Zach Edey before Michael Jordan. It was Sam Bowie. How'd that work out?
This is double the slab of meat. This is all skin. Look, man, look, Edey. Look, you made my life worse. You in Wisconsin made my life worse. All of you just getting in the way of everybody. Playing basketball by just getting in the way. Zach Edey just plants himself like a tree. I haven't seen a body like that since Yao Ming's. And his ankles are bigger than anyone's thighs. And we're distorting the sport. Have you seen Wembanyama? Like, he just stands over these 6'10" people who are bigger than anyone you've ever seen and just places the ball over them in the basket.
Are you saying Zach Edey is going to be better than Michael Jordan?
No, he's going to be terrible.
That would be a take.
He can't move.
That would be a take.
I can't have that take.
That one go far out there, Dan.
I love the way your brain works, Billy.
It's so unesthetically pleasing. Zach Edey is a plague. I'm sorry. Purdue, you're a plague. You're a plague.
Boilermakers.
The Boilermakers.
Billy, what's going on with our March Sadness tournament?
That's a good question, Dan. A lot. Oh, man. So today, I guess, is Selection Monday. Yesterday was Selection Sunday. And our committee met, and we ranked some teams. And we have some that we'd like to preview for you now.
Well, but wait.
Yes.
Have we announced to the audience that we're not doing this the way we usually do it? Have we told anybody that the March Sadness tournament is going to be a totally different thing this year? You're just jumping right in with what the controversies are.
I was hoping no one would notice that we just kind of changed the format entirely.
What happened with the Looks Like tournament?
Well, we had some meetings and decisions were made. And granted, I will tell you this. This may not be the most popular move we've ever had, but sometimes real leadership accepts the criticism and says, you know what, this is a direction that we're headed in, and I believe that this is going to be a good direction for the show. Because if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, the Looks Like the past couple seasons, I think that we can all admit, Dan, and we can cop to this and tell our audience and be honest with them, they weren't as good as they've been in the past, the last 2 seasons. Part of it has to do with the fact that, we don't talk to Tim Kirkchin anymore, so we didn't have as large a bank to choose from as we did in the past. A lot of them were getting repetitive, and that's kind of what we used to do. So we wanted this year, March Sadness, to have some changes. We wanted it to reflect more what we're doing now, because the Looks Like, on top of everything else, was very audio. It was geared towards the podcast, which is what we were, which is what we did. We were on ESPN, but it was a podcast. So it was more of an audio, tournament where you'd have the voice come out and do it. Now we have the TV presence, the DraftKings network. We have the YouTube. We're doing a lot of stuff on video. So we thought someone just reading a sounder isn't great for video. So we have all of these great video clips that we wanted to do. We wanted to highlight what it is that the show's doing now. We brought the songs back. The club is back. We have all of the punishments.
But wait. This is a lot of information. Billy, slow down.
Yeah, I'm trying to bury a lot of stuff here.
Slow down.
Say it with a positive spin.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell people I'm excited about this.
Okay. It can be positive, and in your role as rising Meadowlark executive, what you're saying is that you're trying
the committee
to build our tournament into something different. That's going to be met with some resistance, but you're doing it in the name of our standard. You believe, because if we're burying this thing, I need people to understand, Mike Schur and Adam McKay, comedy writers, haven't been able to get in the tournament because these have been so good. They fill up every March. My email fills up with them trying to get into the tournament. So we've got plenty of good that comedy writers can't even get in on, and you're saying we're burying it now because it lived beneath your standards the last 2 years.
The committee. But I also want to say
it ran its course. That's what he said.
It's not that. It's just, we want to do more video things. We want to change things. We want to highlight what it is that we've been doing. You've been very excited. Not you, I mean the show in general, but the costumes have been a big thing. We have new regions, Dan. We have different regions that we're going to introduce. We have different, teams that have been selected to said region. So we want to try this, see how it goes. And if you guys don't like it, then maybe, in like 3 days, then we have a frantic, everybody freaking out, and then it becomes a Looks Like tournament again, which I'm hoping is not the case.
No, let's not lead that way. Let's not lead the way.
Okay.
Look, I really don't like that we just skip past the fact
committee.
that Stugotz is making the claim that tough guy leaders in the NFL should be influenced by chanting fans saying they want a different quarterback. I don't want to move too far from the stupidity of that.
I also want to point out, which I didn't get to before in setting up the tournament, is that there's also a very big change in the tournament in that you guys our beloved fans who we love so
Well, this
much,
part-
and we
no,
can't
but-
do anything without any
Okay,
of you.
no, but this part, wait a minute.
I
So
can't sit or stand after I go to the bathroom without you guys.
I've been in the meetings. This is meant to be interactive. We are
Right.
going to now celebrate March Madness in a different way we ever have because you're going to be doing this with the show, correct?
What?
They're going to be voting on stuff.
Yeah, you get to vote. You get to decide. So we're going to put out the matchups, and instead of us, attaching someone to Gonzaga and the Zags go on a run, and then we have, some random team in there at the Final Four. No. You guys get to decide. If we have bad submissions that make it all the way to the championship, you guys are to blame for that. You guys can put a 16 seed there if you really want to. You can vote for whoever you like, and that person will advance on to the next region. So the fans will be in control of who is there at the end voting for these tournaments in the championship.
So what are the 4 regions, Billy?
Okay, that's a great question, Chris. So the first region, as I kind of mentioned, we're going to be highlighting some songs. We're going to have the song region.
From the last year. Songs from the last year.
Songs that I found. The
Okay,
committee voted on.
songs that you found.
Songs,
Those are, okay.
Not songs from the radio. If you're looking for Dua Lipa, not going
All
to
right,
happen.
so
just say from
it's
the
just
last
our
year,
best
Billy.
16 songs from the last
Show
year. All right,
songs,
next
yes.
category.
The next category is the region of death.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
It's very similar to what Iowa women's basketball
What does that
apparently.
mean? What is it? What's in there?
The region of death is going to highlight the 16. 8,
Billy, can
17
we move this
because
along,
there's a play-in
please, Billy?
situation.
Can we move this
the next
along a little
region,
bit?
the region of death.
We're ranking people that have died in the last year.
Really?
I actually did think about doing that.
Billy, we have 4 of these to get to.
I did think of the region of death
The
and it being
region of
show
death.
show friends that are no longer with
Yes.
us, but thought it'd be in bad taste, so I
Yes.
didn't do that. So instead, the region of death is bucket of death costume payoffs. You're going to be able to vote for your costumes
All right,
there.
what are the other 2 categories?
Then you're going to have the club region with the club being back. We have 16 to 17
Just
of our
sounds?
favorite, or
Just
show
sounds.
moments that we just kind of put under the sounds.
Okay,
Yeah,
and the
kinda.
other bracket.
The
What's
final bracket, the
Yes.
final region.
What is it?
I'm
Best
most
one?
excited.
This is the best one. What is
yeah,
it?
but you're going to hate this one.
What is it?
The Greg Cody region featuring Greg Cody.
Stay tuned. What a week it's going to be.
Richard Lewis would have been a 1 seed.
That's not doing it right.
I think Ike Austin improved a lot, don't you?
Yes, he did.
mean-
Yes, he did. Ike Austin is a good one. Thank you, Stugotz.
Weird.
Ike Austin's a good one,
No
but
one's
not
ever
better than
improved.
Duncan Robinson.
Okay.
Billy, get that take machine working. Ike Austin did improve a great deal for the Miami Heat. So too did Vashawn Leonard. But no one has improved more than Duncan Robinson. I ask all of the South Florida media to eat that. No one will be able to rebut it or defeat it in an argument.
How do you measure that?
I just made it up. Most improved
so proud
to
of
my
you.
eyes. I underestimated him. He's a lot better than I thought. And Stugotz, you haven't been watching him. Like it's marked. He used to be just Kyle Korver. Now
Okay.
he's got more range than Kyle Korver, and he's got total balance in his game.
Stop yelling at me, man.
Stugotz.
I've never been more attracted to you.
Stugotz, they're like 42-9 when he scores 20 points. He's gotten really good at basketball.
I'm so proud of you.
What's our cannon budget? Just because I'm looking up how much we can spend on a cannon.
I think $1,000.
Okay, because we have a propane one here, but it doesn't look like a cannon. But I found a used cannon for $2,300
All right,
that
Billy,
looks like
I'm
a
going to give you
pirate
some
ship
budget.
cannon.
You build out the take machine. I want to figure out how to do this.
Dan,
Okay.
you have to love March because Dan Orlovsky right now is irate on Twitter. He is screaming, saying the Big East getting 3 teams into the tournament is an absolute joke and that St. John's would beat UVA or Michigan State by 12-plus points. Tom Izzo in the tournament. March, get out of here.
They would beat UVA. They would absolutely beat UVA.
Well,
I'm really sad for Indiana State, by the way.
the Sycamores.
What happened? What happened to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? Didn't he have a great Ken Palm
They
rating?
lost the conference championship and Virginia got in and they didn't. It's tragic.
Yeah.
Who'd you feel worse for? Did you feel worse for Indiana State or the kid at the end of that game who had the foul at the end where who were the 2 teams involved? They were up 1 and he fouled intentionally with 4 seconds left and they lost their tournament berth because it was like a hugely boneheaded moment that cost his team the tournament.
I felt bad for the people that had to clean up the confetti during the Duquesne game. I believe we have a video of that, but Kevin Harlan was on the call and he always seems to find himself in these situations where something weird, there's like a cat on the field. Yeah. There's a dancing squirrel. He's always there for these. So yeah, this was in the middle of the VCU Duquesne game. And
How do you think that happens? Like,
confetti
did
just
someone
started
cut
going.
the thing? Like, was there a big bag of confetti that someone cut? Did it just break? I need answers.
Someone hit the wrong button.
No one here has answers for you. You seems like you have questions, and no one here has any answers. I was talking about the end of the Kent State Akron game. So who's angriest today now?
Zips.
Who's angriest?
Lucy.
Is it just no? But they're all. Isn't
Oh
it?
no, Lucy and Rick Pitino. I mean,
Rick Pitino now doesn't want to do the NIT. Tom Crean is yelling at him for not doing the NIT.
well, he's going to hunt down all the committee members. I mean,
Honestly, Mike Ryan might be the most mad because of the Miami women's team. He does not seem to be taking it well. And by the way, I'm not happy either. Notre Dame, the 2 seed in the women's bracket, is in the same bracket as South Carolina, who's the overall 1 seed. So if they make it through, they're going to have to play against South Carolina, who they played to start the season in Paris, and South Carolina beat them by 30 points. It was the first game of the season. However, I'd like to see a rematch, but I think South Carolina wins that if there is one.
we have to locally here get behind FAU, don't we? With Miami out. I mean,
No, they're disappointing all year.
really,
That team is not the
tough
same as
opening
it
round
was.
matchup. Northwestern. I mean,
FAU's gotten to the point
Yes.
that they're an 8 seed and they had a disappointing season
Yes.
after a magical run.
I mean, Miami had a magical run last year, and now they're not in either tournament. I
That's
mean,
correct.
Life Wallet, where are you? They're under federal investigation, allegedly. in
Can
the
we
show.
do this, please?
the Wildcats have all the elements, Dan. I'm telling you, Chris Collins, championship pedigree. They have senior guard play. Boo Booey, one of the best guards, and he's a 5th-year senior, one of the best guards in the country. And I am telling you right now, I know they've been a joke in terms of college basketball for many, many years, but when you combine Chris Collins, his winning pedigree, being at Duke, and Boo Booey, one of the most underrated senior guards in America, and the way they play defense, tenacious, I am telling you, don't be surprised if the Wildcats find themselves in the Final Four. I picked them.
Was that genuine?
Chris, I need you to back away from the
Yes.
microphone for a
Nothing
second.
written
Chris,
down. Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah.
Chris. I believe Stugotz's wife was away this weekend, and it sort of awakened the March Madness loins.
That turned me on. I'm not going to lie.
Well, hold on. I believe what's
Boo
happened
Booey.
here. Look, Seth Davis will be able to sniff a fraud. I believe Stugotz is prepared, and this is how he came in today. He's like, Dan. He came in and he was like doing calisthenics. He's like, March Madness, that room over there, they think they're prepared. You're never prepared. You're not prepared enough. He's been studying. He's been watching some teams. He's been shaking off the cobwebs. And I believe that he's going to try and bluff his way through Seth Davis
Bluff?
here. We'll see. We'll see. I believe that.
Seth Davis is doing the bluffing.
Look, I need to explain. I don't think Lucy and Jessica have been familiar. This is the stirring of the great giant every March, the legendary media creature of Stugotz can fake his way with analysis through the tournament in a way that fools anybody.
I've worked here for 3 years, but I will say Stugotz was awakened this weekend when I texted him sports people who connote ice cream toppings because I don't know if you're familiar with the ESPN women's bracketologist
What a
Charlie
weekend.
Cream, but Charlie Cream is the guy in bracketology, and it sent me down this rabbit hole as I was texting Stugotz. I came up with a couple. Stugotz came up with a couple. I think we could do maybe like a top 5 with some
You all right, Willow?
OLIs. What are you talking about?
Shaking back there.
She's awakened by March Madness. Stugotz, I can start.
Go ahead.
OLI. Danny Sprinkle.
You want one for me? Houston Nut.
You can do this on the fly?
We spent the weekend doing this.
Reese Davis.
Oh, wow. Daryl Strawberry.
Heath Schuler.
Don Cherry.
Don Cherry was number 1.
Fudge Brown.
That's a good one. That's a deep cut.
That's a terrible one.
That's a deep cut.
Fudge Brown is
Everyone knows
terrible.
fudge.
Come
I mean,
on,
come on.
man. It can't be that inside a joke. It
M&M.
can't. It can't be Fudge Brown.
He is a big sports fan. I'll
Jeff
give you
Gummy
that.
Bear.
No, that's wrong. It's just asinine.
But I
That's-
mean, this guy's name's Charlie Cream. Yeah. And we don't talk about it enough.
her name is Fudge Brown, and we don't talk about it enough. But she works like deep inside the NFL labyrinth. No one knows who that is. No one. No one listening to this.
The 5 people who
The
never
joke
know.
can't be that inside. Fudge Brown. Come on.
It's a good one.
It is a good one. I can't deny it, but do better.
It's the only fudge I know.
Billy,
Hey,
our March Sadness tournament. What
Yeah.
is the sound? Are we going to tease the audience with anything here, or we're just going to unveil it over the course of the week?
well, this is what I was thinking, Dan, and you can approve or deny this. It's up to you. I was thinking maybe we could do the 1 seeds in each of the regions, and then maybe have kind of like a little select few from each region. You
Wow,
wanna
so
do that?
you're just going to give
Little
the best.
tease.
Wait a minute, you're going to give the best of what we've
Oh
got.
no,
though?
not the best. Like
Tease,
right
right.
now, I have here songs. I have a 1 seed, I have a 13 seed, and I have a 14 seed. So you don't know what 2 through 12 is, or 15 or 16, or the play-ins.
Before we break down the matchups later in the week, we want to just kind of tease.
Yeah,
tease
little
the
tease.
brackets.
Tees can't have the 1 seeds though. A
Danny
tease-
sprinkled them in.
Well, these do.
Well, I mean the 1 seeds. You're gonna have an idea for how deep these regions could be. You know what I mean? Which region do you want to do, Dan? You want to do songs? You want to do the Greg Cody region featuring Greg Cody, the club region, or the region of death?
songs, because Greg Cody will be here tomorrow. Songs.
Could be so happy.
All right, so here we go. Not the Greg Cody region. Here's the number 1 seed in the song region.
His name is Cooper, good at running curls. But when his hammy got a tear, he saw Puka standing there, his blade diminished. Hostile take over. Nakua hopped into the car. McVeigh has maybe found a star, and then Matt Stafford threw him 25.
That's Greg Cody. It can't
Different
be-
region.
That's the number.
Different region.
Greg
though.
Cody's
It's a
the
song.
number 1 seed. in
Correct me if
another-
I'm wrong, though. Is that not a song?
It is a great song, but
It would be pretty funny if Greg has his own bracket and is in multiple featured songs and still doesn't win March Sadness.
He
though.
probably was the biggest star of the year. I mean,
Good year for him.
Yeah, big year.
Don't need the glow.
I'm not feeling great energy from you, Dan.
That's the
regarding
1
this
seed in
tournament.
songs, Dan, not the Greg Cody bracket.
Our fans are gonna love this. Are you kidding me? We're gonna play songs, play Greg Cody
so
clips.
we are eliminating the looks like game as I demand
No.
younger and smarter.
Yeah.
And Adam McKay and Mike Schur can't get into
they're not younger.
difficultly written things.
And they're not funny.
Because we're supporting Greg Cody?
Funny.